this entertainer, I should say, has brought Manhattan, Varla Jean Merman. Tell me, New York City, you came and brought it here by storm. I love your show.
Oh, thank you so much. We're having a great time here. It's so fantastic.
I love the title, The Very Worst of Varla Jean.
Yes, the very worst.
Of Merman. Yes. What do you mean by Merman? Ethel Merman and...
Ernest Borgnine are my parents, Ethel Merman and Ernest Borgnine.
Uh-huh.
So, they were married for 38 days. Of course, Mama wouldn't talk about it because even in her biography, her marriage to Ernest Borgnine is a blank page about her marriage. So, and Ernest really hasn't talked to me in many, many years.
Uh-huh. You're working at the theater right now. Is a very sweet little theater down the street, the Hudson Theater.
Right, the Hudson Avenue.
And it's a fabulous little theater.
Oh, it's
fun.
Love it.
And you are just tearing. I was there that night, opening night. I loved you. I thought you were great.
Oh,
the audience just roared. You had a cream of the crop there.
It was a lot of fun, right? We were getting into the groove of things. Anytime you go to a new space and you have to work out everything, but we had a great time.
RuPaul and Bruce Valance and who else? That English singer. I'm a little destroyed with him a little. Elton John.
Oh, Elton John.
I'm a little upset with him, but
are.
that's okay. But they love you.
Well, yes, they've been coming, and it's so nice too. Because in New York, you never know when people are there. They sort of blend in and blend out. But when you're here in Hollywood, I guess everybody knows when they're there.
Grew up
People
where?
are taking pictures.
Yeah, who grew up where?
I grew up in New Orleans.
You're a Southern one.
I'm a Southern gal.
You certainly are, and a big one too. I love it.
Big one.
Yeah.
Well, I was born in Houston, so.
Houston. Tell me something. Growing up, you wanted to be, but you were a business person first.
Well, I was in advertising, right? I worked in advertising. When I got out of college, I studied graphic design. When I got out of college, I started working in advertising. I moved to New York and started working at Ogilvy and Mather and Foot Cone and Belding, different ad agencies like that. And then I started singing on the side in drag in clubs. And eventually, I started singing more than I
Did you ever do it in New Orleans? Did
design.
you do drag in New Orleans when you were working?
I did, and everybody does drag in New Orleans. Everybody, and so there was no stigma attached to it, and everybody had fun. And it was just part of the holidays. I mean, Mardi Gras or any holiday, anybody's birthday party.
Right.
But then I started doing it non-holidays.
And that's when it happened.
That's when it happened.
I
started enjoying it a little bit more than everyone else.
But you sing. Did you study voice? Now tell me.
I sang a little bit in high school, and then I sang in college. But I used to just mess around with the falsetto and the really high things. And then after a while, when I started having to sing it every day, I had to study to make sure that I could do it every day.
But your voice is incredible.
Oh, thank
Opera.
you.
I mean, you blew me with the voice. I was with a comedian singer from Paris, and she couldn't believe it. You were doing mime. I said, no, that's her. You were just incredible. You fooled the audience.
Oh, well, that's good.
You really fooled. Who writes your material?
I do.
You put this show together?
Yes. And I work with a director named Michael Shirali, who's been fantastic for me. And he helped me just sort of put the whole educational concept together. So we collaborated on a couple of the videos in the show as well.
I must explain. The Varla Jean Merman is your stage name.
Right.
But your real name, and your also stage name as a boy, was?
Jeff Roberson.
Jeff Roberson. And you did Chicago on Broadway.
I did, on Broadway. I know. Well, actually,
as a boy.
As a boy. Well, it's also a male soprano role, too. So, it kind of used all my talents.
Was that the Mary Sunshine thing?
The Mary Sunshine.
That's a good role, too.
Oh, it was a great role. It was a lot of fun. And I got to tour. I was the cover on Broadway from when it opened in '96, and then I stayed in New York and I was working, and then finally they gave me the tour. And so I went on the tour for, just 6 months was plenty.
Did you study acting at all?
I didn't.
Because you're such a good actor.
I just try to use basic instincts, I guess.
Basic instincts. You and Sharon Stone.
I know.
You and Sharon.
But I'm not spreading my legs.
You don't have to. You have talent. What do you think of Hollywood? Comparing with New York, I got it. The audiences.
Oh, the audiences are really, really very intelligent, and they're really
intelligent.
Yeah, well, I mean, because a lot of places you go, not that they're not intelligent, but a lot of things and references that I do in the show, other places, smaller towns and places, don't really get a lot of the references. And here, and not that. here they get almost every reference just like they do in New York. So I'm glad to see that translated, because I know a lot of times shows come here and they do not do that well.
But, you know, California is getting, Los Angeles is getting the theater better and better because people like you are educating them. Really, you are educating them. People, the actors from New York are coming and a little more sophisticated, and they're getting educated. But, wow, I got to show my audience this opening clip. Oh,
great.
This was at when you were here before, because you're coming back by popular demand.
Right, we were at the Gay and Lesbian Center. They were wonderful to us, and we had a great time.
Explain that.
It's called The Village at Ed Gould Plaza. It's over on McCadden.
Yeah, McCadden, just down the street.
McCadden Street, right down the street.
Yeah. And you were performing there for how long?
Yeah, we did 6 shows there, and they went really well. It's a huge space. It's a really big sort of auditorium, and we did 6 shows there, and it did really well, and you know, it was selling out every night, so we decided to come back.
Let's show this audience.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you. That's funny. The very worst of that is not the very worst. That is the funniest. Tell me that clarinet. Boy, you really blow that.
Well, I haven't actually played since 6th grade, so that was the first
Oh, really?
time. But I knew I could just pick it up in a couple weeks.
What do you mean by the very you were watching television?
Very worst.
No, I know that. But you were watching television, and you got your ideas from the bad television? Is that the idea? Tell me about
this is from the Schoolhouse Rock I talked about in the show, which was, you know, on television when I was growing up, and it was really... you know, it's sort of kids' education, but also in funny songs. So that's the whole thing about the show.
Yeah.
But the concept of the show is that I'm trying to teach these lessons so that the very bad days in your lives will never
Right.
be as bad as the very worst of Varla Jean Merman.
You have a great sense of humor, it seems
Oh,
to me.
thank you.
Because the way you are just carrying
Growing
on
up where I did.
I love the way you decorated that piano.
Oh, thank you. Little mules. Feather mules.
It cracked me up.
And we had to lift that piano too. You know, we had to lift it from one place to another. Oh my gosh. Moving pianos as well as singing and dancing.
And singing and dancing. You studied, you say, later on, singing.
I did. I studied a little bit when I was at LSU. But LSU, Louisiana State University,
Right.
which is in Baton Rouge, but it's more of a drinking school. I mean, people die every year from drinking at this school. So I studied a little bit there, but when I got to New York, I studied with a few people, but also Ira Sif. I don't know if you know who that is.
No.
With LeGrand Shana. They are sort of an operatic, they're an opera company, and they're all men.
Is
They play
there
all the
something
roles.
in your body right now? I'm looking at you. Wanted to really be a diva? Really a diva opera singer?
Well, when I was
because you're a
young-
great singer.
Oh, thank you. Well, when I was young, we lived in small towns in Louisiana, and my parents would always have like Dolly Parton records or the guy who sang Glenn Campbell records. And I remember the first time going to a garage sale and seeing the cover of a box set of records for Maria Callas, and it was for Lucia de Lammermoor, and she had the pearls around her neck, and she was looking to the side. And I remember being obsessed with it and begging my mother to buy it for me. It was like a quarter. And she wouldn't buy it for me, so I would take it home and just play and play it. And so my taste, and then I got a Joan Sutherland record. So they had no idea.
So that's where that
I
was.
know.
'Cause you know,
It's really, it's nature, not nurture.
but I'll tell you something, because you're a man. You know, I'm looking at you, talking to you, but people, really, when you're singing that high notes, those are high notes for a man.
They are.
You know, there used to be a club in Boston, a gay club, and this drag queen used to sing these high notes, and people used to get her standing ovation at that time in the 50s because she hit those high, screaming, Yuma Sumac-ish notes.
Right.
You know, from a man. That's incredible. Fun working around L.A. Is it fun for you?
Oh, it's fantastic. And
What kind of an audiences are you getting? A lot of good celebrities coming to see you?
oh,
or-
we are. You know, I try not to ever get to know.
No, you're-
This week, I'd rather not know till after the show. And, you know, this week it's been really, you know, just getting the show up has been a lot of work. But the great thing about being in LA is because I use a lot of video in the show.
Right.
So I just actually filmed a video this weekend, as well as during the show. We filmed something. So there's so many great landmarks here.
You
so-
enjoy doing videos, don't you?
Oh, that's really, I mean, I love doing that. Once you do it, it's done, and you put it in the can, and it's done.
And you show it during your shows.
Right,
which
many
is so
videos,
good.
right.
It's really a lot of fun. Bruce Valanche, does he write any of your stuff at all?
No, he doesn't. No, but I love his stuff. He's hilarious.
He loves you.
Well, he came to see me in Provincetown, and then, you know, he introduced me here when we were at the Gay and Lesbian Center.
Charles Bush, good
Charles
friend.
Bush, fantastic, yes. I've worked with him many times. We just did Cage together, you know.
What's that?
Cage
I'm
was
sorry.
a movie in the 40s with Eleanor Parker.
Of course.
And we did a reading of it in New York,
Oh, okay.
where I played the Eleanor Parker role, and Joan Rivers was in it, and Isabella Rossellini, and Lily Tomlin.
Must have been fun.
Oh, it was fantastic.
Where was
And
this at in
It
New
was
York?
at Town Hall.
And
Charles Bush played the warden. But Charles and I did The Miracle Worker together, which was hilarious. I was Helen Keller.
He's got a show right now on Broadway.
Oh, I know, The Tale of the Allergist's Wife. It's fantastic.
Yeah. Is that what you like to do? Would you like to do a show on Broadway?
I would love to, but I think Charles Bush is such a great role model for me too, because not only is he such a talented actor, but an amazing writer too. And
He is.
and I really want to try to make the move into writing more for other people as well.
Is that your Charles Bush you look up to?
Oh, I really do, and he's such a wonderful guy.
Lip syncer? How about lip? Is that the name, lip syncer? Is it?
Lip syncer, right?
Yeah.
We've worked together many times too. We did Harriet Craig together, right?
Yes.
Which was really funny, and he was actually also in Cage, so we've done a lot of stuff together as well.
How long are you in town for now?
I'm here till tax day, April 15th.
Oh, April 15th?
Yes, I know. I got here on the Ides of March, and I'm leaving on tax day.
I think you're getting a little great reviews here.
Oh, it's been really nice,
at the
yes.
Hudson Theater. I'm telling you, you're doing great here.
it's great.
The reviews are fantastic.
Very
all over.
nice, thank God.
And LA Weekly, God, pick of the week.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Everybody's loving you here, and that's a tough one. LA Weekly, believe me.
Oh,
when I
really?
Yes, it's a tough one. Who is and New York Times? When you were in New York?
New York Times, nice too.
Yeah. A new girl, but life is still a drag.
Yeah.
What's that all about?
Well, that was a show I did in New York about, it was a show about self-absorption. So it was called Enough About Me.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
What has been the hardest for you as working as a drag? What has been the hardest, Varla? Because I know you don't take yourself do you take yourself real serious?
No, I do not. And, you know, I just think, you know, I'm having fun. I'm getting to say what I want to say, but doing it in a fun way. And, you know, it's not, I'm just having a good time doing it. The hardest thing about doing drag, not only, you know, of having my waist tied in that much, but also a lot of people just automatically assume that don't really consider it to be real theater or, you know, a viable sort of entertainment, which I think, you know, it's...
Do you believe that?
Well, I think that me being in the dress, I think that my show, being in the dress really is... It really is second to what I'm trying to do. It's really entertainment. And the fact that I'm a man playing a woman, I mean, I could be playing the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Right.
You know, it's just a role that I'm playing. And it's really, you know, there's no kind of sexual connotations. I have no desire to be a woman.
Has it been hard?
You wouldn't know it by now.
Has it been hard for you growing up as a kid in a little town like a southern town? Has it been hard for you growing up?
Well, it was terrible. I mean, because you know, my parents are very religious. I mean, they still are. My mother doesn't even know I do drag today.
She doesn't?
No.
I love it.
I know. She doesn't. You know, but she doesn't even know who Madonna is, so I don't think really.
Wouldn't you like to see? Wouldn't you like to have your mother in the audience to see what kind of reaction
well, the thing
would...
is, if she could get past the fact that I'm, you know, dressing in women's clothes, I don't know if she could get past the fact that some of my material's a little blue.
How long does it take you to get prepared for?
About an hour.
Does it really?
Right. I can do it in 30 minutes, but it takes years off my life if I have to do that. Really.
You enjoy doing live or theater? I mean films. Would you?
I love the response and the communication in live performing.
But the theater,
there's nothing like it.
But actually, the clubs are better, though, isn't it, Varla?
Oh yes,
clubs. It's more intimate.
Oh yes, I love, you know, a smaller setting and really, because then you can really communicate with an audience.
This one right here is like a little light club.
Oh, I know, it's
Hudson
great.
Theater is just small, and you're touching the audience.
Everybody's right around.
I love it.
It's very nice.
And you're very tall on that stage.
I know, I'm tall anyway.
You look like the 50-foot woman attack of a 50-foot woman. I mean, my friend who did that, she is absolutely great. I love it. That's a great part for you.
Oh, the attack of 50-foot woman. That would be good. Let me write that down.
Yeah. You brought another clip. I love this about Sunday and
Sunday Morning Coming Down. No, this is a song that I thought that Vicky Carr was the first person to sing it because I had a Vicky Carr record.
Right.
Sunday Morning, and I thought it was so funny because some of the lyrics are, you know, picking up her dirty clothes off the floor, and I thought how funny that Vicky Carr is singing this song. But it's actually Chris Christopherson wrote it, and it's a Johnny Cash first sang it on the record. I'm doing Johnny Cash numbers in my repertoire now. But this is a video that I did my interpretation of the song. This is just a little clip from the video.
Okay, I like to see it. Matter of fact, let's run it all through. I like it, all through the song, up to the end. Thanks.
With no way to hold my head, that didn't hurt. The beer I had for breakfast, it wasn't bad, so I had another for dessert. Dresser for my clothes and found my cleanest dirty shirt. And then I brushed my teeth and took a bath and stumbled down the stairs in the day. And somewhere far away, a lonely bell was ringing. Disappearing dream of yesterday. On a Sunday morning sidewalk, that I was stoned because there's something in the Sunday air. Show me somebody feel alive.
That's a great clip. What was that other thing in there before?
Oh, and right after that is Crying. I did Roy Orbison's Crying in the last show I did. as well, with a little yodeling in it.
This is fun. You do a lot of things, different.
Well, different styles. I try to. You know, since I've sort of trained a little bit in recent, and even before I trained, I always sound a little bit trained, even when I wasn't trained. So it's kind of funny too for the character to sing, you know, pop songs and sound just a little bit Julie Andrews-ish at all times.
What are the 3 things about Varla people shouldn't know about? 3 things shouldn't know about. I'm gonna shouldn't know about
Shouldn't
you.
know about.
Shouldn't know about you,
Oh,
darling.
let's see that they shouldn't know about me. How neurotic I am. I don't know.
Well, we all are.
I know, and how demanding. No, well, the things they should know about.
Yeah, I was going to say should know, but I'm not going to say that.
I know they shouldn't. I don't know what they shouldn't know about me.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I have anything they shouldn't know.
Oh, okay. So you are true to yourself then. You know who you are.
Pretty much, yeah, I do. I mean, there's nothing I think I have anything a secret.
No, huh? Isn't that
No, I
interesting?
don't
Isn't
think
that
so.
Interesting. Would you like to write a book?
I would. I'd like to take a lot of the stories of, because a lot of the stuff I write and put in the show are definitely things that have happened to me, especially, you know, with the weight and things like that.
Yeah, that's right. You were heavy. You
Very
lost
heavy.
80 pounds.
Right.
Tell me, how did you lose 80 pounds?
Well, it was from red meat and coffee. That's all I had. I know it's my
Red
version.
meat?
It's a version of the Zone or the Atkins diet
I
that I
don't
developed
read
myself.
meat at
You know?
all. No.
I just ate meat and coffee. That's all I had,
Meat
and it
and
worked.
coffee? It does
I
work?
swear it did work. I mean, vegetables too. But I was working on a modern dance piece with somebody named Mark Dendy, who's a choreographer in New York.
Right.
And we were going to do this modern dance piece, and we did it a few nights, and then they were going to run it off Broadway. And I had to dance and sing and move and in drag, and I thought, I cannot do this for a run. So I decided to lose the weight, and then they didn't get the funding for the piece, but I kept the weight off. I didn't gain it back.
But vegetables you did put in there.
Yeah, a couple here and there.
Everybody personates Betty Davis. Why do the drags always get a kick out of Baby Jane-ish type of things? Joan Crawford's Betty Davis.
Well, it's strong women with personalities.
Strong women,
you know,
right.
strong women, and you know that and the stories about them and everything. But they're strong women. They
Judy
said
Garland.
what they thought, right? You know, and not necessarily. I don't
Tragedies,
know how strong
tragedy
tragic
things in their life.
right? And you know, even my stuff, everything, like all the videos and things that I do, and a lot of the humor I've done before, it's sort of based in tragedy in sort of a weird way, but it's supposed to be irony of the tragedy. But you know, Judy Garland, I mean, besides her being so talented, you know, sometimes I think people root for the underdog too a lot. So you know, she was definitely an underdog, even though she was so talented.
Who was your favorite drag act as a young kid growing? But you didn't have a favorite act because you
I
didn't
didn't
see.
know any
You didn't know
drag.
because in this small little southern town.
I didn't know any drag.
Until
My
you came
mother
to New
loved
Orleans.
Flip Wilson. That was the only drag we ever saw. You know, so I didn't know any. I remember being in college and remember doing advertising projects and cutting Lip Synca's picture out of a magazine and using her on a cereal box. I mean, that was really my first
Charles
brush.
Pierce, you never heard of.
I knew Charles
Titanic,
Pierce.
all these great.
Well, Charles Pierce, I didn't really know of till later, and what a genius performer he was. Oh, fantastic entertainer.
Great.
And there's so much to learn from him too. But I never really, I just have seen clips of him. But amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the whole Mae West and
Do you do a Mae West type, a Judy Garland type?
You know, I am
anything?
terrible at impersonations. I cannot do any.
You don't have to. You
terrible.
don't have to.
Anytime I try to, it just sounds terrible. They all sound like
Varla
Carol Channing,
Jean
no matter who they are.
Merman doesn't have to. You are real live what you are. You are a definite style of your own. I've seen drags from Paris to England to Australia, the best. But you knocked me out here
great.
last
Thank
week.
you
I'm
so
telling you, I
much.
was knocked out by you because you are what 2001 is right now. You're bringing something very, very special to the theater of introducing a man on drag. And as an entertainer, you're an entertainer, not just a drag act. It makes me forget about that.
Well, thank
Because
you.
you're funny and you're doing things
Right, I
funny.
really find the drag is second. I mean, I love the look and to do it all and all of that, but really, it's you know the humor that I
The
enjoy
audiences
more than
are
the writing.
mixed. It's not all gay.
Oh, I know. I
it's
can't
a
believe
mixed
it.
audience. I've seen couples. Why can't you believe it?
No, it's just so funny because in New York, a lot of times you are very sheltered in New York, and there's so much going on in New York that people are they like this, you know, and they only watch that, and so sometimes it's hard to cross over. But when I've performed in different cities, and especially here at the center, you know, it's crazy the cross section of audience we'd get.
What would you like to see yourself, say, 5 years from now? Where would you like to see yourself?
Well, I definitely want to write more. I want to write for other people. And
Really?
I want
you
to.
said that twice tonight.
I
That's
know. Well,
interesting.
also, I want to be able to do the video and film work that I do now, but with a budget. Because now we have a camera and it's like guerrilla filming, and we go in and we film where we need to film without asking, you know, and then we just run out
Who
of
was
there.
that big fat Divine?
Divine,
Yeah,
right?
You're not a Divine. You're.
No, but I definitely was inspired by Divine and inspired by John Waters.
Waters. Yeah. Has he
right.
seen you work?
You know, I have run into a million times, but I don't know if he's ever seen me perform.
I'm surprised he hasn't, because
But you know what? He does not. So I hear. You know, at one time I was at the Cannes Film Festival with a film, and we picked him up on the side. He was hitchhiking after a party for his Pink Flamingos. Pink Flamingos were re-released that year. He was hitchhiking on the street. We picked up John Waters. I'm sitting in full drag, but he never acknowledged that I was in drag or even said anything. And not that he needs to, but I hear that he doesn't ever want to work with drag again. He thought that Divine was, and that you know he doesn't want to. He's done drag now, and he's
Can't
moved
see
on.
beyond Divine.
And Divine was fantastic, and what paved
Well,
the way
she was
for so many
okay.
things.
She was not bad. No,
But you know, I find fantastic
she was okay.
because
She was fun.
I never saw him perform. I just
Yeah.
seen the film work, and I just
I
think
think you're fantastic.
well,
I think,
thank you.
you're true what you're doing. Divine was campy, and I use the word campy.
But he's the one that really started this sort of shock value, and really got that. And sort of shock is now out of the way.
Eating merd on a camera? That wasn't shock for me, honey. I walked out of the
But
theater.
it's so funny because shock drag really, really brought drag into so many places. I mean, it really started drag, I think, as this crazy, the over-the-top drag, and then now I think that it's sort of subsided where people think, okay, now. It's not shock. It's really, okay, you can dress as a woman, you can do this, what are you going to do with it? And people have to entertain now. I think it's just, it's entertainment.
I think the drag is very acceptable today. People do accept
very
it more
much so.
than when you were a little kid.
Oh, definitely. Even in the last, when before RuPaul even so much, it wasn't.
Right.
And then sort of it got so hot that now people were sort of tired of it. So I still think that it just, if you're not entertaining in it, just the look and being in women's clothes isn't going to pull it off anymore.
The very worst of Varla Jean Merman. You are just wonderful, and it was great chatting with you this morning.
So much,
and
Kitty.
I think you are. They're saying genius here too. Look at this, New York Times.
Oh, did they?
Time out. New York. How hysterically funny, baby. You are, and you are funny.
Oh,
you are
great,
truly
thank you.
funny. And everyone should see you. Show business. Look at this. Glitz. Backstage. You have great reviews.
It's nice.
Varla, where did this name come from? Varla?
Well, of course, Merman from Ethel Merman, because I knew that Ethel Merman and Ernest Borgnine were married.
That was her-
Varla,
Yeah.
Varla actually came from a Russ Meyer film called Faster Pussycat Kill Kill.
Ah, that's what I
And I
wanted to
just
find.
love that look she
Pussycat,
had. Yeah, right.
The Pussycat, that's what you had. I love your
And
Pussycats.
Hello Kitty. Right?
Yeah, the Hello
And I
Kitty.
used to be Varla Merman for years, but there was this guy down in New Orleans. He was always at the bar. He was always drunk, and he would always say Varla Jean. He always called me Varla Jean.
Varla Jean.
And so then I just
love
took it.
And you took it, and it's a great name. Varla Jean, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
God bless you.